there?
3, 5.
What about that?
chambers.
Doesn't that have water
that
too?
makes it 6. Yeah.
6 different chambers will filter the water.
So it totally cools down the smoke?
Oh yeah, it makes it very smooth.
I myself, since I'm not a big smoker, didn't actually try this thing, but wow.
It was amazing.
It reminds me of, remember Curtis was talking about how he went to the hemp expo and they had that like 25-foot long
vaporizer.
Vaporizer.
Bag for the,
Remember
the plastic
that?
bag. I squeezed it.
Yeah, and you had to like get up high and
Los Marijuanos and they were passed around and you squeezed it to get a hit
But
off
somebody else would probably have to squeeze it for you way down
and it
there.
had the little thing on it too. Remember
What's
you
the
had that
little
little
thing? To open it up?
Yeah, to open it up.
To let the smoke
through? And
through?
then to close it. Yeah, to
Oh
let the
my
vapor out.
goodness, what do they think of
Amazing.
next? I'm almost afraid to ask. But hopefully we'll have it on this show, whatever it is.
It took me about 4 draws just to get the smoke up, and then once the bowl was pulled, it took me about another good 2 to get it up there. And then after I hit it, I had to almost go down to one knee because I caught a head rush.
Oh my God. And you know what, Squatch? You're like 6.5 feet tall, so you can actually stand above it and, work it like you would like a normal one probably. Whereas most guys who are between, 5, I don't know, what are most
5,
guys?
6.
Most people are about 5.5 feet tall in general.
They have to lean it.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, how do they work? And so you probably have to have a friend so you can get it lit.
You still have to have a friend to lit. I can't light it by myself either.
Well, I know your arms aren't 6
piece.
feet long.
It's a 2-person piece. When I had it up here before I put this attachment on it, you could get it if you had one of those lighters that you use for like a fireplace.
Yeah.
The long ones.
Yeah.
You could use like one of those and you could get it yourself.
Yeah.
But now it's beyond your reach. There's
Wow.
just no way.
And since this is on the show, maybe eventually you'll donate this to the Amsterdam Cannabis Museum.
That's interesting. Follow up on the history of the bong that we have a modern day new millennium type of bong.
And welcome back from that quick trip to the refrigerator, or as you put down the bong. You're watching hempisode number 29 of 420 buzZ. Laureen, Leigh has some interesting news to read about cannabinoids.
Yeah.
Say that fast 5 times. Cannabinoids.
This is kind of an old story from April 2009, actually. But it was so awesome that I wanted to...
And it was from April 20th, I see there too, which was 420.
4/20/2009, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, so it was so awesome that I wanted to tell you all about it. It's the title of the story is New Biologically Active Compounds from Cannabis. Basically what they're talking about is they identified 9 new cannabinoids. Okay? It says here, humans have been using cannabis for thousands of years for medical treatments, spiritual purposes, textile manufacturing, and other reasons. In recent history, chemists have isolated many cannabinoids, the metabolites in cannabis sativa, and have described some of their biological activities. For example, cannabinoids have potent effects on multi-drug resistant bacteria. One of the ones that they tested, the new cannabinoids that they found, one of the things that they tested it against was MSRA, which is like the drug resistant bacteria that is in a lot of hospitals and stuff, and it was effective against it, which was awesome. And also they're showing that some of them are effective against pain. These are scientific studies we're talking about. The structures of known cannabinoids also inspire chemists to create synthetic chemicals to mimic the aspects of their function, like pain reduction, while providing a powerful medical effect and avoiding negative side effects. So see, there is one way that the corporations can get in on cannabis. Okay. Although a lot of work that has been done on cannabis, although a lot of work has been done on cannabis, scientists have not identified every cannabinoid. So many research groups are continuing to identify and categorize the chemicals in cannabis. So the University of Mississippi is the one that that has the group that discovered these 9 new cannabinoids, and they published the structures and biological activities of the chemicals in an advanced article in the Journal of Natural Products, which isn't even like a well-known scientific journal, but then that's not surprising at all. They show, JD, can you totally zoom in on this? It's going to be a really tight zoom, but they show the actual drawings of the compounds. There you go.
It's the molecules.
The molecules of the compounds. Some of them are similar, and some of them are quite different.
Tetrahydrocannabinol.
Yep, that's right. And these have different. The different cannabinoids that they're showing here have different activities against different diseases and stuff like that. So they grew plants from high potency Mexican C. sativa seeds and harvested the whole buds of mature female plants. They performed chemical extraction and purification procedures on the plant material to isolate the 9 cannabinoids. They then determined the molecular structures of these new chemicals using a variety of techniques. And after figuring out the chemical structures, it was crucial to know how useful these molecules might be in terms of medicinal properties. So the first good news was that none of the cannabinoids were toxic to cells extracted from African green monkey kidneys, which meant that they have potential as drugs. And then upon closer inspections, they had several of the compounds had respectable biological activities. Compound 5, they were numbered 1 through 9. Compound 5 had potent, anti-leishmanial activity, which makes it work against leishmania disease, a parasitic disease that's spread by the bite of the sandfly. Compound 8 was effective at killing Staphylococcus aureus, which is staph, basically, a frequent cause of staph infections. Compound 7 had good activity against Candida albicans, which is the candida that you get from yeast infections, and thrush, which is a fungus. The other cannabinoids had some drug potential and were effective against MSRA and malaria.
Wow.
Isn't that awesome? Yep.
And I'm not sure, but I believe most of these compounds are probably not ingestible. They're ones that people rub on their skin.
Well,
would you think something like that, or would it
no.
be an ingestible compound?
What I'm thinking is that it would be ingestible because they're testing the molecule against the germ, right? Mm-hmm. So that would be, that's not necessarily activity on your skin, right? That's happening inside your body. What I'm thinking is that they're probably going to try to make pills out of it. I mean, obviously. Now, if you want to go the natural route, I would say making some kind of a tincture with it, or even a homeopathic. Hallelujah.
All right. And we're enjoying comments from our guest in the background today.
Yeah. It's nice to have an audience.
Yeah, we have an audience here.
Yeah.
And we also have Jack Hare's Cannabis, California Cannabis Hemp and Health Initiative 2012. That's CCHHI Initiative 2012. It's an act to amend the Health and Safety Code of California. Add Section 11362.6 to the Health and Safety Code of California. Laws or policies to the contrary notwithstanding, no person, individual, or corporate entity shall be arrested or prosecuted, be denied any right to or privilege, nor be subject to any criminal or civil penalties for the possession, cultivation, transportation, distribution, or consumption of cannabis hemp, marijuana, including cannabis hemp industrial products, cannabis hemp medicinal preparations, cannabis hemp nutritional products, cannabis hemp religious and spiritual products, cannabis hemp recreational and euphoric use in products.
Okay, wait. That brings up a lot of stuff. Can we talk about it?
Sure. Because
Okay.
we're going to take parts of this throughout the whole part, and you can go to 420 buzz hemp 2012 at gmail.com. I know that's a lot there, but you can go to 420 buzz hemp 2012 at gmail.com. Give me your email address and I will send you the whole information about this, or you can go yourself and Google or do a search for Jack Hare, capital C, capital C, capital H-I, or if you'll find it under that, or if you want to do your own, you could find it under edit that part out. You can find it under.
Yeah. I never do. I always keep those coupons.
Oh man, I just had an idea.
Go ahead.
I want to make goulash when I get home. You guys ever had goulash?
Goulash.
I am one hell of a cook, man.
Goulash. Does it have wheat in it?
No.
It has goo.
Then we
Goulash.
can't talk about it on here. No.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Well, they're asking an awful lot right out the gate. They're saying, can you go to the beginning of it?
Yeah,
they're
but see, once the money's raised to get the signatures and the people sign for this, the vote on this will be a lot better because it doesn't include the biotech companies. But yeah, we'll go over this.
Well, that's not, I mean, okay, that's one point on this whole entire initiative.
Okay.
But the part that you read, the very first piece of it, which is only a small piece of this whole entire initiative, basically lets everyone off the hook for doing whatever they want with cannabis.
Exactly.
Without any... Okay, so a lot of people...
It's like a tomato. Like a tomato. You can do anything you want with a tomato. If I want to get a tomato and make an enema of it and shove it up my ass, I could do so as an American citizen.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Can I?
Yes.
Okay, so
you can. But here's the thing:
if
once people start doing that with tomatoes, though, they may have to make a bill that has to go and make an amendment to the health and safety code.
Are people going to hurt themselves?
Well, I don't know.
Doing tomato enemas?
I don't know. A tomato
if it's
enema.
causing a health outbreak at the emergency room, yeah, but I don't think it's not going to hurt anybody. People should be able to do what they want to.
Okay, that's true, but that's my point, basically.
You go to buy alcohol, you can only buy this many cases of beer. You can only have, and you can do anything with that alcohol. Just think with the alcohol, what people could do to themselves. If I went to the store right now, and I had $1,000, and you know had an alcohol problem, would you say, "Well, watch Squatch, how much alcohol are you going to buy?"
That's a good point, Vince. Because listen, if you go buy 20 cases of alcohol and then you resell it at your party, you can get busted. Right? So that's one of the things that they have in there as a point that they don't want people to get busted for is distribution. So that's one of the points that I'm bringing up. And all I want to say is not anybody here necessarily, but there are a whole boatload of people in the country and in California who have a problem and want about what other people do with themselves behind closed doors. And they want to be in charge of that and make rules about it and make money on it and all that kind of stuff.
Once this law went through and it was acted for about 60 days, it would take the price out of pot.
Because it would be commercialized?
No, because there would be...
It has to be because you can have you can make your own.
Yeah, everybody's going to grow. It's going to be everywhere. Yeah, it's going to be so prevalent, and there's not going to be, worry about that people are going to kick in your door. You're worried about that you're going to get busted, because that's why there's a lot of money on it right now, because people are worried about
the risk.
The risk involved. Once the risk is taken out, then...
Right. Well, that's a great point. Well, I'm glad we talked about that. I just kind of want to try to look at it from all sides. People against it right out the gate just because it has something to do with cannabis. They don't even care because basically it's going to be, should we legalize it? You know what else I wanted to ask you is how do you think that January 6th thing squeaked by? I didn't vote on that. I didn't know it came up for vote. What the heck happened? We had a vote in November. Prop 19 was it? Right. Downed that one because everybody had their funky little fingers in it.
They announced it between Christmas and New Year's, and luckily I have a friend that's a Jewish lawyer, so it didn't affect him, and he was able to get the information and shoot it out to me right away.
Wow.
So, but yeah, they snuck it in there.
Okay, so how do you think the 1 ounce thing, the California thing squeaked through? Because I didn't hear it. We didn't even talk about that, and then blam, all of a sudden, I get this text from you that now all of a sudden if you are caught with 1 ounce or less of cannabis that you get a citation.
Yeah.
That's $100.
It's an infraction now. It's been dropped from a misdemeanor to an infraction.
Right. So it's like a parking ticket, you said.
Yeah, it's like a
parking ticket. He didn't even know that.
I know that.
Yeah, so you could just be wheeling around with 1 ounce anywhere in California. Am I right?
Yes.
So did public citizens vote on that?
No, that was done. I wish I know her name. The new Attorney General of California announced it, and on behalf of what they had saw going on with the law, and to get some of the cases off the record and stuff. So anything that had been, so anything that was prior to 2010 on, they dropped things to an infraction that got a lot of court cases.
Wow, so it even affected people in the past.
That had things
cool.
from 2010.
Wow.
And it's going to free up a lot of money that was spent on, incarcerations and
oh, wow.
fines and things like that. People are having to go through hassles and getting their insurance raised.